Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, John Deaton dropped an absolute bombshell yesterday. And me personally, I'm going to break down step by step the magnitude of what he discussed. But first, I'm going to call out some people in the XRP community. Because what I've been seeing has been an absolute shame. And a lot of people need to be ashamed of themselves. You see, over the past few years, while Ripple was getting sued by the SEC, John Deaton took it upon himself, took hours out of his life, and I know those hours are by the thousands, in order to draw up a class action against the SEC with 75,000 XRP army holders. Then participate in this case, amicus briefs, going on Fox Business constantly, talking with high-level crypto industry leaders about the corruption at the SEC. And now people, for the first time, want to give John shit because he wanted to draw attention on a piece of work he made that might actually give you life-changing value from it. But you're too ignorant to realize. It genuinely frustrates me when I see the lack of gratitude towards someone who deserves nothing but that. John Deaton's role actually had an effect in the Ripple XRP case. People are quick to forget. Ladies and gentlemen, I say all that to say this. When someone puts in the work, you show them love and gratitude. End of discussion. John Deaton deserves it. And I ordered my book from him yesterday. I genuinely believe there are going to be some valuable nuggets of information in there. And I genuinely hope people take that for what it is. Because not only did he bless the world with his memoir, but he also told us something people want to ignore. Ladies and gentlemen, John Deaton admitted yesterday that he is speaking with Nerayoff. And there are some receipts that could not be made public yet. But when they do come out, will reveal the extent of the corruption behind Ethgate. John Deaton stated attorney-client privilege is at play, meaning there is an engagement agreement between John Deaton and Nerayoff. Some expressed disappointment at John's announcement, but you really need to consider the next level implications. And ladies and gentlemen, there are big things to come. And I couldn't agree more. You guys have no idea how far this rabbit hole goes. Back in the day in 2020, when this lawsuit came out, we just started putting the breadcrumbs together in regards to Ethgate. Now, they are at the forefront. Now, attention will be had. And I think there's a very real possibility justice could get served. You see, who is Nerayoff? When we looked at his LinkedIn and go all the way back, we can see he was part of the original Ethereum ICO team. He was actually the inventor of the utility token for Ether and the ICO. And he's a prominent leader in numerous crypto companies. Guys, we need to make something clear right now. Nerayoff is a whistleblower. And he's one of the only people that has the full list of ETH given out to, quote, contributors. And exposing this list publicly would endanger many honest, well-intentioned people who worked on Ethereum, in his own words. But he has receipts. He has documents. And all these documents are distributed accordingly. We have numerous clips of Vitalik, Joe Lubin, and many others explicitly exposing everything that happened back in those days. And now, I think a lot is going to be exposed to the public. Here Wheezy stated Jason Urban, the co-head of Galaxy Digital, and a former Goldman Sachs guy is over here discussing the ETH that they got for quite a low value. Remember, these people got Ether under $1, some even as low as 25 cents each. And whenever you see people publicly who are part of this Ethereum mafia, because that's what they are, and they're over here downplaying Ripple, downplaying XRP and other crypto projects, it's because they have a vested interest in seeing us fail. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a listen to this. They expose themselves every single day.
And so, you know, in my time at DRW, when Cumberland was starting, and I remember being at a dinner with a couple of the Cumberland guys, a handful of the lieutenants that were kind of, you know, running different things. And across, this is tell you the year, across the table, a guy just turns to the person next to him and says, "Hey, I just bought 200,000 ETH for a quarter." Now, you're at a dinner with traders and somebody says, "I bought 200,000 of anything." Whatever it is that you whatever you were just talking about doesn't really matter anymore. It's like you bought 200,000, like it's like, you know, the old E.F. Hutton commercial, you know, when E.F. Hutton talks, everybody listens. When somebody throws out a 200,000, "I bought 200,000 of anything," you stop and listen. And they were explaining to me, you know, the guy said, you know, "I bought 200,000 ETH for a quarter." I go, "ETH?" He's like, "Ether." And like the gas? Like, what are you, a dentist?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's all out there for the world to see if they want to find it. And ladies and gentlemen, these people, they don't even care that they're letting you all know in the public because they feel like they're so protected. Guys, what you need to understand is the rules of the game are not fair. They are never fair. And Steven Nerayoff knows very well how unfair it is. He was the fall guy for Ether and Vitalik. And right now, he's making a comeback. And John Deaton is his lawyer. I genuinely believe we're going to blow Ethgate wide open. And I've always stated, it never made sense why Ether got a free pass, unless conflicts of interest occurred. I genuinely believe him and his story have a lot to reveal. And even further than that, I want all of you to take this recent interview with Lorshin and Vitalik and take a deep listen into the things being exposed. Guys, if I'm being completely honest with you, I want to see Ether drop in value quite a bit. I want to see them go through the same legal issues that the XRP community did. Because holy shit, would I love some cheap Ethereum. Ether has been deemed as disappointing by JP Morgan. And the only reason Ether is still dominating the crypto market is because they've had the regulatory overreach play in their favor. Ethereum has had the legal head start, but it is lesser technology. And that, at this moment in time, is going to be so important. Let's see what happens with Ethgate. But I think this video is going to tell a lot about the next steps that we have yet to see.
On a related note, I wanted to ask also about Steven Nerayoff, a technologist and lawyer who helped Ethereum with its crowd sale. He was charged with extortion of a company that was trying to hold an ICO in late 2017. And between this and Virgil, I wonder, do you feel Ethereum in general needs to do a better job of vetting the people who become involved with the foundation or other core members of the project?
Steven is definitely a separate case. Like Ethereum before about 2015, like there's definitely, you know, this founding team, and the founding team had like a lot of characters that today I definitely don't approve of, and at the time I had no idea how to even like tell apart good people from bad people, and pretty much everyone seemed reasonable to me, and so like at the time I definitely didn't have the ability to kind of detect the problems in someone like Steven Nerayoff. And I think since then, the Ethereum Foundation has gotten much better. Since then, like a lot of the kind of characters that caused us a lot of damage at the beginning, we've successfully distanced ourselves from. And I think kind of more recently, we have a team that in general are very happy with. And I'm definitely not willing to allow kind of Virgil to be put into the bad character bucket just because he was more geopolitically open-minded than a lot of other people. Like I'm very happy to kind of burn reputation points defending him to some extent there. He's like, no, that's definitely not the same thing as like what Steven did, which involved like huge amounts of like fraud and behaving in, I think, definitely very like ways that made women around him very uncomfortable at the very least, and all of those things. Like doing that, that's a shady character, man. And like I'm definitely happy I'm better at that. I think the Ethereum Foundation's better at detecting him than it was at detecting a lot of other people. But Virgil's still a friend, and I'm looking forward to him no longer being in house confinement soon.
And one of the threats that had been hanging over Ethereum for a few years was whether or not Ether would be considered a security, or whether or not the SEC would go after Ethereum for its crowd sale. It eventually became apparent neither of those things would happen, but were you ever nervous for Vitalik?
I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I remember that time, and on your interview, you were talking about some of the space, like the guy Steven Nerayoff, right? And I remember there was a conference in Toronto, I think it was maybe 3 years ago. We got together with Alex, and then I just happened to be present at that conversation. And Steven was really trying to basically explain to Vitalik that, Vitalik, this is very dangerous, you're going to go to jail, and I'm the only person who can save you because I have all this awesome connection, all kinds of people and law enforcement and, Senate and whatnot. And after we talked to him, and then, I'm talking to Vitalik, and I'm asking, how do you feel? And he said, well, but also like when there's so much pressure being applied to me, then I kind of start to question, is this really real? And I said, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about this too. And how to put this, met Vitalik multiple times, right? And him, end of the day, that he has his heart in the right place, as they say, right? So I'm pretty sure that, and then again, law enforcement and those branches of our government, they don't have to be reasonable, but I kind of have to believe that when people talk to Vitalik and they see this is his intent, right? It was never his mind to trying to make money or whatever, invite investors with this, right? And if you think back into this whole ICO craze, right? He was constantly warning people that this is likely to blow up, right? So it was a bit of concern, but it was not a huge concern.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned Steven Nerayoff just then, because I do think in general, and Vitalik has talked about this, that one of his biggest challenges, if not the biggest challenge, I actually think he said this in that interview I published on Tuesday, that his biggest challenge in steering Ethereum to where it is today was the social aspect, like people-related issues. And was that something that you were aware of during, while he was trying to help grow this network? And did you try to help him at all with that?
Yeah.
Or
Guys, what's very interesting to me is that we're going to find out whether one of these people is lying or telling the truth. Is Steven Nerayoff a fall guy for Vitalik? Is Vitalik telling the truth, or is he lying? How deep do the Ethgate ties go? I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments below. But if there's one thing I can guarantee all of you, is that not enough people are realizing how important John Deaton being Nerayoff's lawyer is going to be. Big things are coming soon for the XRP community and crypto as a whole. And all of you need to remember that this is not just an investment. This is a revolution. And like Jungle Link likes to say, the revolution will be televised. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.